Welcome to the Spin on Golf Show. With your hosts, PGA professionals Jordan Young, Mike Fay, Brian Cairns, and WJR's own Sean Belegian.
Well, so glad you could join us wherever you may be on a Sunday night. It is Spin on Golf. It is a very, very busy night. Multiple events going on. A couple of them, you could say, in our neck of the woods. One down in Inverness, of course, the other one up in Grand Blanc. Usual suspects are here on a Sunday night Spin on Golf. You can be part of the show, whether it be on Twitter, Ask WJR, hashtag Ask WJR Golf. You can be a part that way. And of course, you can be part of the live studio audience on Facebook Live. Jordan Young, Mike Fay, and of course, BC along with us. Fellas, if you like golf, right now is a very, very happy time for you. Count them 4 different events to keep an eye on.
Yeah, you know, we've got the new winner, Justin Thomas, from down at the World Golf Championships at the FedEx St. Jude's Invitational. We were talking before the show, youngest to 13 PGA Tour wins. He is ahead of Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, Rory McIlroy, and Phil Mickelson. Justin Thomas, 27 years old, 3 months and 4 days. So pretty good company there. And then, of course, Mike, we were just watching the girls just finish up down there at Inverness in Toledo, right?
Yes, heartbreak there with Boutier missing that 3-footer to get in the playoff. But Kang's been playing so good this year. Pretty awesome stuff. Really good.
BC was mentioning on how good Inverness looks. And, you played it, what, about maybe 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah, it is. Like I said, you can put the USGA markers on the back tees right now, and they could play an open there. Don't have to do a thing to it.
You know, we were watching Mike the last putt. I don't know if it was 3 feet. It might have been 5 feet, but you could see right down the line. She kind of short putted it and hit it right off the heel, and when that happens, that ball's going to go left, and she just slipped out to force a playoff. But that's one of the better finishing holes, fun finishing holes in golf.
Good playing.
Not that easy of a hole with that green the way it is.
No, it's kind of crazy. Then up the road, Grand Blanc was still going on, right, guys? We've got the Allied Championship. I think they've got about, I'm going to say maybe 6 holes left up at Warwick Hills. I'll pull up the leaderboard here shortly, but
Last check, it was
Jim Furyk, right?
Correct. Yep. Last check, it was Furyk, and certainly rain has been a factor up there. There's no doubt about that. And where are they at, Jordan? 12, 13 now?
Yeah, 12, 13. I'm still pulling it up, but rain, as Mike and BC, you guys are experiencing, as you guys are out teaching this morning, and a little bit of the lighter and heavier downpour, so they got pushed back a little bit. But the usual suspects are up there playing well. But that was a pretty strong field. I mean, you've got Els was playing, Goosen playing, Furyk playing, Thaley. Pretty good for the Ally to have all these key guys up there.
Well, by the way, in case you are interested, you can listen to us on the radio, but you can also see us on Facebook Live. And BC took his lovely mug out of the picture, and now I'm just seeing just a wonderful view. Look at that view. Like, if you're on Facebook Live right now, that's like the type of thing you could make a pure Michigan commercial. Look at that view. Was that our producer Razor that put that up there? What a beautiful view that is, huh?
It's Jay Bird Central right there.
Yeah, Jordan knows this through my good friend Jay, but I'm looking down on the lake right now. It looks like the Atlantic Ocean rolling in right now. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable how cool it is. But yeah, the field at the Ally, I mean, you want to talk about a stout field. And, everyone's like, how come you didn't Monday qualify? I'm like, well, let me tell you what. I couldn't beat those guys 30 years ago. Why would I go try to beat them right now? Are you freaking kidding me?
Furyk one-shot lead, 13 under through 12. So we'll be probably taking this one to the end. Lehman's playing. Obviously, he's in the top 6. He's at 10 under with 3 to go. Longer, giving everybody a chance this week. He's only T9 -9. I guess he's cruising. But yeah, big field, and we were mentioning local Tom Gillis, who got off to a hot start. He was 5 under on day one, but I think he's finished tied 44th or so, somewhere around there. So was rounds of 73 and 74 the last couple of days. So cool to have all this stuff going on, and great to see golf and all these competitions heading down the road.
Well, the biggest thing about it, especially if you're a golf fan, is at this point in time, make no mistake about it, with the uncertainty of other things with Major League Baseball, there is whatever golf is doing, they're doing it right. I don't know what it is. Maybe you guys can speak to that. I've heard so many people say that you should use a bubble like the NBA or the NHL has done, and maybe football could learn a lesson from that, but I think the precautions that the PGA has put out there, we're seeing it work in a big way. Early on, you were hearing about some of the infections. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not hearing anything right now.
Yeah, we're talking about Bones caddying for Justin Thomas and for the last couple of weeks, and one of the reasons why, or the reason why, is because of his caddy being exposed to COVID, so he couldn't be out there. So Bones happily hopped on the bag, and we got a win today, which was really, really cool.
Not
You're
bad.
not hearing about, exactly. You're not hearing a lot about that going on, and they're just taking care of it because it's a whole family out there, right? Everyone's together. Everyone's staying at the same hotels. The caddies, everybody together, and they're doing a great job. It's awesome.
I know, BC, you wanted to add to that.
Yeah. Let's lay the record straight here. The rest of the sports aren't as disciplined as the PGA Tour is. That's all I got to say. The rest of those guys are a bunch of, I'm not going to call them animals, but yeah, pretty much animals in the other sports, and they're not going to pay attention because of their egos. The golfers want to keep playing golf because they love to play golf. The other guys are doing it for the money. That's all I
take offense. I take offense to that. I'd say the hockey guys are the NHL is doing it spot on. They're getting tested every day. And those guys aren't doing the nasal swabs. They're doing the brain swab. And they're tested every day. And I know the hockey guys are I'll vouch for them more than the other sports. But I would say them and the PGA Tour are probably getting tested the most and have probably got it right with the bubble. The PGA Tour's bubble's the golf course and the airplanes they fly on around. So the two hockey facilities in Toronto and Edmonton, they're pretty locked down, and I think they're doing a great job.
Over the course of the last few weeks, we've gotten two staples with this show. One, of course, the Punk of the Week. BC loves the Punk of the Week. And the other one is, what did Bryson do this week? I mean, doesn't it seem like we're and some might argue they go hand in hand, those two topics. But Bryson in the news, again, we will hit on that. Lots to discuss. Glad you could join us. It's Spin on Golf on 760 WJR.
Gillis is in for 7:30.
Oh, cool. That's great. Thanks, BC.
All right, who is this, just for my background?
So Tom Gillis, he played in the Ally. Yep. He is he's played on the PGA Tour for I don't know how many years. I mean, I'll pull up his
I got it. Pontiac guy, right? Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Clarkston, Pontiac guy, but hey, Spieth beat him in the playoff at the John Deere.
About 10 years ago, Spieth, when he holed out that bunker shot to get his first victory, that was against Tom Gillis.
Okay, gotcha.
Now Tom is, Michigan Golf Hall of Fame. I think in the last 4 or 5 years, did he go in with you, BC? BC's frozen again. Michigan Golf Hall of Fame just in the last several years, and now a senior player, and trying to get some status out there and playing a little bit here and there, and does good in some and doesn't do so good in others.
Gotcha.
Typical tour deal, right?
Gotcha. Boy, is there a buzz tonight? I don't know. Are you guys getting the buzz?
I don't have a buzz.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm getting it.
I am because of where I am, right, Jordan?
Yeah, your buzz is the water.
No.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The bird buzz.
The bird buzz.
Jordan Ray wants you.
Jordan, is your phone right by your laptop?
Yes.
Put it somewhere else.
I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be
Okay.
right back.
How about, is that better?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't hear every time that you get a text, it goes.
Oh, okay.
That's
He's
all.
going to call in at 7:29, Ray.
All right. He's going to call Eric, and then I'll get some footage.
Groovy.
Looks like Deborah Durr's listening in from Grayling. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Weather's awesome up here, Deborah. Go over to Forest Dunes. You can get in a quick 9.
I sent Matty Ice and the boys, Larkin and them, and they played Forest Dunes. They played the Loop, then they played an emergency 9, and then they went up and played Bay Harbor yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
So they played the Lynx and the
Query.
no, they didn't play the Quarry. Lynx and the
Preserve.
and then the Lynx.
No.
Yeah.
Preserve lost about 400 trees in that storm last week.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Wow.
Well, they
It
could
was-
lose another 14,000. You still wouldn't miss any.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of storm was that?
They had straight line winds that were clocked at 75 miles an hour for 20 minutes up here
Wow.
in Petoskey. A lot of trees.
Yeah, it took out most of the park downtown too.
Oh,
Yeah, right downtown.
Took
Most
down
of the
all the
park.
big ones at Forest Dunes right in front of the clubhouse. Gone.
oh, really?
Oh yeah, that white pine gone.
He said they had a tornado go through there last week.
Oh,
Oh,
that'd be
look
cool.
at Retief.
That's a
Yeah, is he
big boy.
back in there?
Yeah, he's at 13 under through 17.
Wow.
Tied with Furyk
Whoa.
at 13 under through 13.
So Retief just went birdie on 16 and 17.
Nice. Nice birdies. It's not the same making birdie on 17 and not having people just go ballistic because they're absolutely shit or drunk out there.
Welcome back to the Spin on Golf Show. Once again, your hosts, PGA professionals Jordan Young, Mike Fay, Brian Cairns, and WJR's own Sean Belegian.
Well, so glad you could join us wherever you may be here on 760 WJR and, of course, Facebook Live. Deborah, listening up in Grayling, says hello. Hello to Deborah. We really appreciate it. Tom Gillis going to join us, local guy from the Detroit area. Of course, Jordan, you were talking about it during the break, and we'll try to stay away from this with him, but lost to par on the second hole at the 2015 John Deere Classic to this young whippersnapper by the name of Jordan Spieth. Whatever happened to that kid? Whatever happened to that Jordan Spieth kid?
Yeah, I don't know. He's been kind of tooling around, bouncing around tours, I guess. But, Tom's a great guy, and we'll talk to him at the bottom of the hour, and Brian knows him real well, and he's just a great dude to talk to and a very talented player, and he's been on Champions Tour here playing a little bit the last few years. And Brian, you can go into more details on his track record.
He's pretty close. He's like I don't know, like 38. Is it? I haven't checked his status, but he was pretty close to getting. He's got to get in the top 30 to get status for next year to finish. So this won't help him, won't hurt him, but he needed a really good finish here this week in his backyard.
Yeah.
But Tommy's a really, really good guy. It's like Tommy didn't play there for a little while. He's playing Webb, and then just got tired of that stuff. And, he's done all right out there financially. And I think Tommy decided, I'm going to go play. I'm going to go try to make some money. I got to build a new house. And he finishes second to Spieth. It's like, Why don't you play like that every week? So, pretty talented dude, you know.
And it's not like these guys.
The Open.
It's not like these guys out on the Champions Tour are a walkover. I mean, you've got Retief now. He just birdied 16 and 17. He's 13 under. Furyk's tied with him at 13. And he's got some more holes to play along with Quigley. I mean, all these guys are good. And, you know, the interesting thing that you mentioned in the past, Brian, was these guys aren't used to playing 5, 6, or 7 events in a row. And they're kind of forced to doing that this year because of the COVID and trying to keep themselves in the bubble and staying present. And, you know, I wonder how many guys are going to have to pull out just because of whether it's an injury or fatigue or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, that could be a big factor coming down the stretch in the FedEx Cup. You know, that's bang, 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 3 weeks in a row again. And if guys are scrambling to get their points in, I mean, they could play 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks in a row, which I don't know how you do it. That's a lot of golf and that's a lot of travel. Albeit they're traveling nicely, but that's brutal. It's and you know, to be the best, you gotta this year you gotta definitely toe a different rope.
That's such a good point. I BC, honest to goodness, I think sometimes people just look at it as, and I know you guys aren't going to like this, but you hear people say it, you're just golfing. And it's so much more than just golfing. Just golfing alone is a lot. But when you're talking about the travel and the schedule and everything that encompasses getting in, you know, settled in, having the tournament, flying back out again, it's so much more than just golfing.
Yeah, it really takes a toll on you. You know, you want to, where are you going to eat? You're going to eat in a house. You know, you're going to stay in most of the guys are staying in houses now, private housing, so they can do it, or the same hotel. But again, where you're going to eat, when you're going to eat, and you got to check all those angles, you know, which is just a pain in the neck week in, week out. I mean, some of the guys got it down by now, but some of the guys don't, and it's really, really tiring, I tell you.
Well, it's a long day, right? It's a long day. I mean, you don't wake up at 10:30 and have breakfast at 11:30 and then go hit 20 balls and then go play 9 holes. I mean, you know, you're working on your game, you're checking in and you're doing your stretching or your workouts, and you know, maybe you have some maintenance to do, and then you go work on your short game and you go do 9 holes and you know, then you might play, you know, the next day, and then you got to practice a little bit. And you know, I'm not saying it's difficult, but it's not just playing golf, like Brian said.
Yeah, it's a job, you know. It's treated like a job, right? So that's what you do.
I mean, I spent the last 10 days with my son at hockey across the country in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, and I wasn't doing anything. I was just driving him to the rink, eating, and watching. I was asleep at 10 o'clock every night. I don't go to sleep at 10 o'clock any night. I was exhausted, right? And I didn't do anything. So, I mean, days, you know, making sure they're eating and working out and doing their stuff, and it piles on.
You know, I wanted to ask you guys, it's congested out in Grand Blanc right now, as Jordan mentioned, Retief and Jim Furyk at 13 under, Brett Quigley just a shot behind at 12 under, Chris DeMarco, Rod Pampling 2 strokes behind. DeMarco is finished for the day. Pampling is on 15. Just a random question. When you guys are playing in a tournament, you know, I'm not saying something like the Ally, but, you know, in the tournament, how aware are you of the scoreboard? Is that something that like you're focused on? Is that, you know, are you constantly scoreboard watching, or do you more do it if you hear a roar, if you're playing in front of a lot of people, or you get the buzz or something? You know, go in any order you want, but is that something these guys are really paying attention to? BC, I'll start with you.
Yeah, there's some guys that love the scoreboards and some guys that hate them, but boy, they certainly put them in a position, as Jordan can attest, where you can't miss them. You're walking up a fairway and boom, there it is to the right of the green in big lit up numbers and letters. So you can't miss them. You really got to do a lot of work to try to miss them or not to look at it. But I think all the guys know where they stand and what's going on just by the roars. Or, well, this year, no roars.
The leaderboards for me, I'm usually not on them very much, so it doesn't really matter. I don't have to watch them because I'm not really on them. But I think, just in the local events that we play in the PGA Championship, the Michigan Open, and the Tournament of Champions, I know there's 2 events that I can get on the leaderboard in, the PGA and the TSC. And my goal usually is the first day to get on that leaderboard and then to try to stay on that leaderboard. Getting on it is easy to start for me. I feel really comfortable. But as the week gets on and I start watching it more and more, I start, fading and falling off of it. So, but Brian's right. They're right there on the green and they're right beside you. And, that's fun. I mean, you got to know where you're at. I mean, we were watching JT there on 18 today, and he was trying to get up and down in the last hole, technically to beat Koepka by a shot as Koepka was on the tee, and Koepka whipped his 3-wood in the water. So now does Bones say, hey, by the way, I just saw Koepka fly it off the tee into the water so that the shot, really he could make 5 or 6? Or does he not say anything? Well, sure enough, he just, hit a difficult chip a little bit, but he chipped it up there like a foot. So, as a caddy, an experienced caddy like that on the PGA Tour, if you see that, if you're standing there and watch a ball splash off the tee, do you mention it to your player? Do you know where you stand? Obviously, this guy's played and won a ton of tournaments. It didn't really matter, I guess, to him.
Mike Fay, your thoughts?
Yeah, especially in that tournament, like you were saying, Jordan, not a lot of fans around, right? So not cheering, no one really knew. They didn't even know until he was back behind the green there trying to hit that chip when Justin Thomas was trying to hit it. So things are different right now. Before you would have heard screaming or moaning or whatever about hitting it in the water. And now, the guys just don't know because there's no fans, right? So
do you think there are any ants in the water over there? Or?
Oh, that's a whole nother story. I like that one. Well, we'll have to finish today with the ant story.
Okay, I'll have to go with the ant story later.
Yeah, we'll revisit that in a little bit. As we said, coming up here on a Sunday night on Spin on Golf, Tom Gillis is going to join us in a moment. As Jordan was talking about Michigan Hall of Famer, correct? Golf Hall of Fame? Michigan Golf Hall of Fame?
BC,
yep,
did he go in?
Member. Yeah, he went in the same year I did. Yeah, it was kind of like, man, I got a tour player going on with me. This is kind of a nice treat. Yeah. I feel like a big shot next to Tommy, Tommy's wait till you talk to him. He's such a good guy.
Well, we'll keep you abreast of what's going on at the Ally Challenge as well. But up next here on Spin on Golf, Tom Gillis joining us Sunday night right here on 760 WJR.
Ray, I don't know if you can pull up sorry, Ray.
There he is.
Yeah. I don't know if you can pull up his stats or anything like that, but he played in the Open last year, right, Brian?
What's that?
Tommy Gillis, in the Michigan Open?
No. It's been a few years. Maybe 3 years.
Okay.
You'd have to ask him. No, I don't think he played last year. I can't say no, but I'm pretty sure he did. And he had status on the Champions Tour, and you can't play if you have status out there. So.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think he didn't play last year, but the year before, probably the year before that, yes.
How about the Goose today, shooting 7 under right now?
Yeah.
17. DeMarco shooting 7 under. When did DeMarco play good last? Been a while, right?
Probably one he won last time at the Ally.
Maybe.
So he finished tied for 45th, right? Gillis, if I'm reading that, yes, he did. 2 under, tied for 45th.
You got a 3-way tie right now.
Yeah, we don't want to focus.
You don't want me to bring that up?
No, we don't need to bring that up. But we just want to get a flair of the tournament, how it feels to be out there again, yada yada yada.
You got it. You got
First
it.
start. How do you prepare?
Accentuate the
What-
positives. All
What's
of that.
up next?
Nice play at home.
Wait the positive. There you go. A little Bing Crosby song. Thanks.
Nice to play at home.
Minute the neck.
It's a home game.
Don't play the in between.
Oh, dude, I gotta send you this. There's a bear walking across the fairway in front of the players at the Barracuda.
Yeah.
I thought a barracuda was a fish, not a bear.
Oh
Funny.
BC, we talked about this, right? You're a hunter, right?
no,
No, you're not. Okay, I thought we
No,
talked
no
about
gun.
that.
fisherman.
Okay.
Not a gun guy.
Yeah.
But I do have a Winchester next to my bed right now.
I saw
Don't break into my
one.
house.
I saw one when I was hunting, and it was the most terrifying thing. And you know how they are up north; they're pretty docile and everything. But when you actually see it out in the wild, even when you have a gun in your hand, it is the closest thing to make you go potty in your pants. It's unbelievable. I mean, they're
saw
just so
one
darn big.
Last year at Forest Dunes,
Yeah.
on the 14th green, I hear this rustling over near my cart. Turn around, there's a bear.
Yep.
I'm
I
like,
saw
what?
a mother with cubs, and I was terrified because it's like, oh, please don't think that I'm going to go anywhere near your cubs. You know, I mean, it's the last thing in the world you want. Eric said, what time is he calling again?
He should be right now, right?
Ray, does that sound better now that I put it in my nose? Is that all right?
Sean, if I don't know if you're able to or not, but if he doesn't come on, maybe we I don't know if you want to talk about Jamie at all, or
Sure. Yeah. Such a bummer. Just
yeah.
feel like I got kicked in the head. Like,
Yeah, that's the way I feel. I didn't even know him. Probably could mention that
Why
Barracuda.
hasn't called in yet?
Hey, Ray, here's the link for Fire Ants.
Yeah, we could go there too. We could start with that too. Your choice.
I'll
Fire
play.
ants.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Fire ants.
BC,
Thanks,
is there another number?
Welcome back to the Spin on Golf Show. Now, back to your hosts, PGA professionals Jordan Young, Mike Fay, Brian Cairns, and WJR's own Sean Belegian.
Glad you could join us. Spin on Golf, the old-fashioned way on the radio, of course, on Facebook Live as well. Want to give a shout-out, as always, Emily T. Gale, always checking in. Emily, we appreciate you listening from the big island of Hawaii. Thank you, as always, for giving us a listen. Hoping to hear from Tom Gillis sometime before the show ends, and we'll definitely get to him as soon as he calls in. But I'm sure before we went to the break, there were people listening to the show saying, ants, what are you talking about? And there were probably other people saying, oh, yes, talk about ants. So, well, this week in Bryson, we bring together the world of ants, not just ants, but fire ants, and Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh, my. What?
Yeah.
So, if you're watching with us on Facebook, he's called over a rules official and trying to get a drop from this not very good position, claiming that they're fire ants. And according to the rules official, you have to be in danger to get a drop from there. So
That's a nice spot between those little crosshairs of sticks right there, huh?
Very interesting.
What
So-
are those shoes he has on? It looks like what is he?
shoes.
What is that?
Punk shoes.
Oh my
Punk
God.
shoes.
They look like Crocs, but I'll go with BC there. They're probably punks.
I
It's a
tell you
new
what,
kind of shoe.
if there are any ants around, they'd be scared of those things, man.
Man.
Oh my!
Now,
So he does
the best part of this whole thing is the next day, Koepka is under a tree trying to hit a shot, and he looks down. He's got the camera on him, and he goes, "I think there's some ants over there."
I know. Didn't he say I see an ant or something?
Yes,
see an
didn't
ant.
you see an ant? Something like that, and that was absolutely hilarious. So there you go. There's the ant story.
Could not resist. Could not resist.
I'm sure he's going to get busted on for a long time for that. That's I'm sure that people are going to be making ant jokes for quite some time on that.
Oh boy,
no doubt about it. Well, hopefully we hear from Tom Gillis momentarily. Of course, he was out there today. Quick look at the leaderboard at the Ally Challenge. I'm sure you're aware of it, but how about this? A three-way tie now. At the top, Retief Goosen, 13 under through 17. Brett Quigley, 13 under through 14. Jim Furyk, 13 under through 14. Done for the day. Chris DeMarco finished with 11 under total. Rod Pampling still 2 strokes behind with 2 holes to go. Everything you could ask for in a tournament like this, to come down to the end after the weather delay. I mean, what more could you ask for? Look, you're taking your chances in the great state of Michigan. We all know that. But to have a finish like this, boy, you can't ask for much more up in Grand Blanc.
Yeah, the sun's out. You got a 3-way tie coming down the stretch, and good for the event. And they know what they're doing up there at Grand Blanc.
Yeah, no doubt about that. As always, we are glad that you are joining us. Very quick note as we wait for Tom Gillis to call in. Our profession lost a true pro, and I lost a true friend last night. Jamie Samuelson passed away, longtime broadcaster. And Jordan, it was funny. We were talking before the show, and you made the comment, you never met him, but you felt like you knew him. And I think that was a perfect description of Jamie Samuelson. I really do. And I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. I mean, I've never met Jamie, and, God bless him and his family. And I just felt like you did know him. Like I know you guys, and you listen to him and Stoney on the radio all the time, and just loved the way he communicated and orchestrated what he did so professionally. And I know all you guys have known him, have worked with him, and felt the loss a lot tougher than we have. And, just a huge loss, and great professional, and just love listening to him on the radio.
Yeah. Very lucky to work with him for, oh my goodness. I think we were together at the Fan for 11 years, 12 years. I don't even remember. And we had the opportunity to do Lions Game Day Live for many years on Fox 2. And it was a heck of a lot of fun working with him and getting to know him. He's just a good guy. And quite frankly, not only our business, but I think society's going to miss a guy like that. So I'm glad that you brought that up, Jordan. I appreciate that greatly, because he was a friend, and most importantly, he was a really good guy. So certainly our thoughts and condolences are with his family right now. Jamie leaves behind his lovely wife, Christy, and 3 beautiful kids. So our thoughts are with him. And the one thing that he wanted everybody to say, and guys, we're of this age, and it's almost like there's a stigma behind this, and I don't quite get it. Get checked out. Go get your colonoscopy. It really isn't that big of a deal. It just isn't. Yeah. I've done it. I've done it a couple times. I'm due again in September, to be honest with you. And it's not. It's like there's a stigma. I don't quite understand it. Do it for your family. Seriously, go get yourself checked out.
Absolutely. Great point.
We are going to be talking to Tom Gillis, I believe, momentarily, as soon as he's on the line. We got him on right now. Yeah. As a matter of fact, let's talk to him. Tom Gillis was out there at the Ally Challenge, a guy who certainly knows that golf course and knows our neck of the woods. Kindly joining us now, Spin on Golf on 760 WJR. First of all, Tom, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. How are you, sir?
Good. I'm sorry. I was supposed to call in at 7:29. I just whiffed on it. I think I'm tired. I haven't walked and haven't played in 5 months really competitively, and I'm just wore out. I'm like, Brian called me, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. So
no.
Anyhow,
let's start right there, worries. Tom. We were just talking about that. People sometimes think it's quote unquote just golf. What a misnomer that is. First time out there, everything going on. What was that like for you the last few days?
It was. I mean, I think when you like, I didn't play much over the with the pandemic. It helped me because I had some back trouble this winter. I had some arthritis that I was trying to get control of, just from doing what you do for so long. And so I only played like, I don't know, maybe 7 rounds of golf from February into the starting this week. So I just haven't swung that much. You practice a little bit after the round, you warm up before, then you play, then you walk, and so today I was pretty wore out, pretty stiff, and plus it was so wet, by the time I got to 18, I was like, okay, I'm ready to get out of here. But, I'm done with it. It was good, but no, it was, all the people that live on the golf course, they had a lot of parties, in their backyard. So they were trying to make the best of it with no fans, and they were very energetic. And so
Tom, Jordan Young here. Again, Thanks for joining us. What does your schedule look like going forward from here? How often are you going to play?
Well, yeah, we're pretty, this week we have off. So I have my whole family up here. Just a second here. Somebody's knocking on my window. We have an RV. We're renting it in Groveland. So I'll call you in a minute.
Live radio, ladies and gentlemen. You love it.
I got kids. I got my kids knocking on the window here in the RV. I'm like, I'm doing an interview, man. Jeez, so cute. So,
I thought maybe Bernhard may hit a errant tee shot or something.
Well, my son is 14. He's getting to the age he's starting to love golf. So, like, it's kind of like you get done on 18. You're like, okay, it wasn't a great week. We had one good round. I really don't want to talk about it that much.
Yeah.
And we sit down for dinner, and he's like, yeah, man, Quigley's got a 1-shot lead, and this. And then I'm looking at my wife. She's just smiling. And I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, beer, please.
Is that kind of like I saw a deer today?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like that,
But I'm
perfect.
Like,
yeah, I know. So, because when you're done, you're kind of just done with it. But I'm just happy. I went through the week. I had no pain in the back, so I got some injections a couple weeks ago, and the back's in good shape. And
good.
So we're off next week, and my kids are up here just because we have so much family up here, and then they're not starting school in Florida. Who knows when, end of August or something. So tomorrow we're heading up. We got some friends that live in Empire, and we're going to go up there and spend the week up there and, canoe the Platte and go to the Sleeping Bear Dunes and play golf one day and just do some family things. And then they're driving back to Florida, and they're going to drop me off in Akron because we have the senior players at Firestone, not this week, the following week.
That'll be great.
I'll play there. And then right after that, the tour charters us. They have a charter for us, and we all get on there, and we head to Branson, Missouri, and we have 2 tournaments in 9 days. So we play 2 golf courses down there, Top of the Rock, that whole resort down there where that Johnny Morris owns, the owner of Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. So they added those 2 events of late. So there's a lot of golf here in the next, 3.5 weeks, 4 tournaments probably in 4 weeks, something like that.
You let your wife just give it a little cause there. Let that hurricane go by us, Tommy, down there in Florida. And I think you guys missed it.
We just were looking at it on the way back from the restaurant, and my son's like, it missed us. So good thing. Kind of glad of that. But
Tommy,
nice back playing.
Being so close to Indianwood, how don't you play that like every day? It is the best golf course in the state, and it's kind of your home.
I went and played last week with Dave Zink. I always try to get back. Dave's one of my best friends, and I worked for him forever as a kid, and he's seen me grow up, and we're just good friends. So I went back and spent a day with him, which was nice. And it's funny when I was there all the time, living a mile away and practicing there, you kind of take it for granted. And then when you come back, you haven't seen it in a year or so, you stand there, like on the 12th tee box, and you can see all those holes all around the golf course. And you're like, man, this was a pretty good spot to grow up.
Yeah. Yeah, you got
You know,
that right.
you really appreciate it. You appreciate it more. So, but yeah, no, I mean, it's good to be back out there. The guys were chomping at the bit, and Ally did a heck of a job. And the testing and everything it's very strict. Like you're not getting in that clubhouse without a mask. They don't want us going out to eat. We get a text every night from the tour. Do delivery dudes or do whatever you got to do, DoorDash. We don't want you out eating in the restaurants. So they're on it. They're definitely on it. But we had 2 positive tests this week. We had Brant Job test positive. He got all the way up here and he tested positive. He had to drive all the way home. He flew up and then had to drive home. And then Kent Jones tested positive in New Mexico twice before he left. So he never got here. So it's just a different world right now. It's a crazy time. But it was weird playing Warwick with no fans. I got to say that.
Yeah, I bet.
It's the best part of Warwick. Yeah. Hey, Tommy, going forward, I know you're kind of close, and I know the number's 30, but you're going to put a press on to get inside that top 30, or is it not that big of a issue?
We have a rollover season, so nobody loses their card this year.
Oh, that's good.
We just go on to next year, so it's like kind of like a year and a half tour. You know what I mean?
Oh, good for you.
So there's
good.
that's really nice. That's really nice. So these are kind of like bonus events, I would say.
Tom, speaking of 30, you've been on the tour. You turned pro 30 years ago. I mean, when you hear that, what does that mean to you? I'm sure in some ways it seems like yesterday, in some ways it seems like 30 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think as you get older, you look back more. I think when you're in the middle of it, I can remember when I was leaving my mom and dad's house all the time in Lake Orion. I was still living with them when I was 28 or whatever, and going and playing all these satellite events and these small events all over the country and the world at the time. All I ever wanted was a really nice house on Lake Orion. That was my ultimate goal, And I remember one day after I had like 2 years off when I was from 48 to 50, I was just sitting there in the house. I just sit there and it dawned on me. I'm like, you did this, when you're in the mix, you don't think about it. You're just in the fray. You're trying to play good. You're trying to get ready for the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. It never ends. You're just so into the moment. And that's kind of, I think about it a little more now than I ever did, to be honest with you. And I think, you know what? I'm proud of what I've done. I would have liked to have won on tour, but that ship's gone and sailed, and we still have another opportunity here. But overall, I'm like, all I ever wanted to be was a club pro. I never had dreams of playing the tour. I worked for Dave Zink in Indianwood. I saw his life. I'm like, he plays golf a couple days a week. He plays tournaments. He's got winters off. He's got a good-looking wife. Drives a nice car. I'm like, hell, anybody can do that.
Checks all the boxes, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad
all I
you
got to
didn't
do is be nice. Yeah,
I'm glad you didn't become a golf pro.
I can do that.
Hey, Tom, you forgot that he's left-handed. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I was like, that's good enough for me. I was good with that. So like, I think Tony Paul and Dan Leach asked me the other day on their podcast, who was your favorite, who was your idol growing up in golf? I go, I never really had one. It's probably like Randy Erskine, people like that,
Yeah.
Right.
Buddy Witten, guys that I saw all the time or caddy for, it was never Nicholas or anybody like that, because I never really had any dreams of going there, so, but I've been lucky and fortunate, and I was blessed with some talent, and then you got to do something with that talent when you're blessed with it. You got to put the time in, and I did. There's no doubt. There was a lot of somebody asked me, what do you think about having no fans? I said, well, half my career has been with no fans. So it's not going to be anything different to me at all. Quite honestly.
Tom, you were a joy, and a lot of people here are darn proud of you, and we really appreciate you taking the time to chime in tonight. Now you can let the kids in as well. We'll be keeping an eye on you, but seriously, continued success to you. We really appreciate the time here tonight.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me, and I'm sorry I whiffed on that 7:29 call.
No problem.
No worries.
Thanks,
I'm jumping in bed
Appreciate
right now. Going to sleep. Take it easy.
You take care as well. Tom Gillis kindly joining us. We'll wrap it up on a Sunday night right here, Spin on Golf.
It's just that kind of guy.
Oh, is that awesome?
Yeah, he's
just that kind of guy. He's just a normal, just an everyday Joe. Just hey,
Wind him up, baby.
yep. Oh, he can line them up and go too.
Dorch, how long are we going to have? Dorch, are you listening? Okay. About 5 minutes? All right.
Yeah, I'd imagine we
PGA.
come back probably at 7:53 and probably get out at 7:58.
All right.
Any surprises,
Be right back.
PGA? Brian, on the Harding Park?
No, not really.
What are you hearing from? Didn't you play golf with the guy?
Todd Gary. Yeah, Todd. Actually, Todd was heading out there. I played with him at Forest Dunes last week, and then he's heading out there to Forest Dunes. He was passing the kidney stone. He got redirected home.
Why do I know Todd?
Todd Gary's our setup guy for, the bald guy.
Yeah.
National PGA setup guy for all the majors.
Okay.
Great guy.
He's not from
Todd
Ohio,
Gary.
is he?
No, he's from Gladwin. That's how I met him to play. I played at Midland with him, and then
Gladwin. He's from Michigan?
Oh, yeah. He's a Ferris State guy. He worked he was the first guy to work at High Point.
Okay.
Up in Traverse City. So, yeah, he got redirected. So it's been good to have him on, but he's not there. I tried Cookie, and Cookie's not responding. So
That's fine.
whatever. We're out of time anyway.
Jordan, what do you want to do here?
Just talk about the PGA Championship. It's next week. Starts
Okay.
obviously tomorrow.
Okay.
With prep and all that, Harding Park, and is Tiger even playing? Do we know?
It's a good question.
BC, do we know?
I don't even know. I didn't even seen the final field list yet. I mean,
I
field
mean-
as of, but the final field list is not out yet.
Welcome back to the Spin on Golf Show. Once again, your hosts, PGA professionals Jordan Young, Mike Fay, Brian Cairns, and WJR's own Sean Belegian.
Well, all eyes are going to be on Harding Park the next few days, culminating with next weekend, the 2020 PGA Championship in the San Francisco area. And, the interesting thing about it, guys, is it seems just a few days away from the event. Maybe, just maybe, there are more questions than there are answers about this. I mean, the first question, of course, and Jordan, you just brought it up, forget about the field. Is Tiger going to be there? I mean, we don't know what the field looks like. We don't know if Tiger's going to be there. A lot of things kind of up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, 2 or 5 o'clock on Tuesday is the deadline, but usually that you have a good idea who's playing and who's not at this point. I don't know if Tiger's playing. I'm assuming he's playing. We haven't heard much from the golf course. I guess we'll know more tomorrow on who's going to commit, for sure by Tuesday at 5. We don't know. We do know who the 20 PGA professionals are that are going to play because and BC knows this more than I do, but the points list, I believe, from last year became the list for the top 20 PGA professionals in the country that automatically got in. Jeff Roth is a participant this year. I believe, is Ben Cook in as well?
Ben Cook was in the top 10, yeah.
Ben Cook, both playing, both Michigan guys. We'll probably have one of them on next week, I'm sure, on Sunday.
Yep.
Update on the Allied Challenge as well. Jim Furyk back in the lead through 15. Furyk with a 1-stroke lead over Brett Quigley. Retief Goosen is off. He is at 12 under. Wes Short Jr., 2 strokes back. He's made a little bit of a charge. He is through 17, but obviously he's going to need a lot of help. So we'll keep you abreast of that before we get off the air. I mean, we only have a couple minutes left. I have to ask, of course, because it's a sponsored segment, is there a Punk of the Week, BC? Or are we gonna rename it the Bryson Award? How's this gonna work?
No, I'm not going to give it to Bryson this week. I'm not going to give it any fire ants. I'm going to go on a limb and say, because I can, the Punk of the Week is the PGA of America for whiffing on the Horton Smith decision to take his name off the award. I think Horton Smith did more for the game of golf than anybody else gives him credit for. And as you know, Mr. Smith was a PGA president back in the early 50s, and we had our dark period of Caucasian only. And I just don't think it's any fault of his that he couldn't reverse that. You know, he had powers above him. And it was a dark period, and I'm ashamed of it, as every other American is, not to have everybody included in our game at that time. But I think the PGA might not have gotten this one right, and I'd say that is the punk of the day.
Outstanding stuff. No doubt about that. That is something that I think a lot of people will echo what you had to say, that it doesn't make it right, but that's the way it was. And I'm not sure that you point the finger of blame at him specifically. Jordan.
Odds on the PGA Championship: Rory McIlroy 8-1, Bryson 10-1, Rahm 11-1, JT 12-1. That might change after he won. Yep. DJ 12-1, Brooks 14-1. Tiger 18-1. So BC, who's your pick?
I go with.
Don't say Westwood. Okay, don't say Westwood.
No, God, he's let me down too many times. I'm done.
Too many times. You've been trying to pick him for 7 years.
I know. I gave up finally. No, I'm going with Rahm. I'm going with some hard hooks this week.
Rahm at the hard hooks. Mike, how about you?
I'm going Brooks for a three-peat. So
wow.
3 years in a row for the PGA.
I feel the same way, Jordan. That's why I reacted the way you did. It's like Brooks. I'm with you, Mike.
You're going with Brooks too?
Yep.
You guys can't do a shared pick.
Okay,
no, you can't do it. Can't.
Come on.
Nope, can't do it.
Rory.
You're out.
You going with Rory?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Tony Finau, 33-1, and I'll take everybody's money.
33. Lay a hundo.
Tony Finau.
All I see, pick. You know, it's funny. We're on Facebook Live. I see our producer back at the studio, Eric Dortch, just shaking his head adamantly.
Okay, no. Eric, who's
so
your
there
pick?
Might be some money there.
I'm gonna pick him until he wins it. I'm gonna pick it until he wins a major. I'm picking Ricky.
Okay.
Actually, Ricky's played better lately. Jason Day's been playing better lately.
Pick him till he wins a major. I think he's gonna get one. I really, really do.
You might now be the pick of the week for because you're like
texted
BC.
me last week that I was punk of the week, so
I'm the punk of the week because you want to pick a guy until he wins, like BC did for 7 years picking Westwood.
All right, we got to get out of here.
Okay.
Ray Templin, thank you. Eric Dortch, thank you. BC, Mike Fay, Jordan Young. We'll talk to you next week. See you, folks.
Peace.
Spin out. Go Leafs, baby.
I'm going to turn that on in about 2 minutes. We were so late, I just looked at the clock.